this is Katerina from the Evolution of Stitches, and in this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to knit the evergreen sweater pattern and how to use pieces of scrap yarn in order to place your raglan decreases and how to knit your raglan rows. So let's go. So now I'm in the middle of the body part. Let me place my marker here. I will place it here at the moment, and then I will remove it. So before I do anything else, I will need to add pieces of scrap yarn in order to know where I am going to create my raglan rows. I'm going to use one stitch from the body part and one stitch from the sleeve in order to create my raglan row. And just to remember this, I will place pieces of scrap yarn. Of course, it would be better if you use the stitch markers, and even better if you use stitch markers of different color, so it will be easier for you to know which part you are knitting. I'm going to use a hook to place the piece of scrap yarn, but you can do it with your finger. So this is one stitch from the body part just before the stitch is on hold. So this is one stitch from the body part. Now I'm going to place a piece of scrap yarn here. So here again, so now I know that before and after these two stitches I will need to add decreases. Now we'll do the same on the other side of the sleeve. So this is the scrap yarn for the stitches I have on hold. So here again I am going to place a piece of scrap yarn on the last stitch here before this stitch. And on the body part, after the first stitch, another piece of scrap yarn. So again here, these two stitches are going to be my raglan row. I'm going to do the same for the other sleeve. So I'm going to insert pieces of scrap yarn or a stitch marker if I had here and here. So now I have placed two pieces of scrap yarn here, also here on the other side of the sleeve, here on the one side of the sleeve, and here on the other side of the sleeve. So as you can see, I'm going to create 4 raglan rows, and because I'm going to add decreases on both sides, I'm going to create 8 decreases each time I have a decrease round, but I will explain that later. Also, there are some things to remember for this round. So this is the round that we are going to establish the pattern. The pattern is very simple. You can see it on the diagram below. You knit 2 and you purl 2, but please make sure that before these pieces of scrap yarn you always end with the 2 knit stitches if this is possible. Also use the knit stitch here for the 2 stitches of the raglan row, Another thing is that, as you see, I'm still working with the smaller size needles, because the previous round was a round of lateral braid and the stitches are loose, so I will work this round with needles size 3 and then I will go up to size 5. So now I'm ready to start knitting the evergreen sweater pattern. On the first round of the pattern you just knit 2 stitches and purl 2 stitches. So now I'm going to do this, but because I am starting in the middle, what I'm going to do is to knit 1 stitch on this side, on the left side, and when I finish the round I will knit the other stitch, and in this way I will get 2 stitches. Also, as you can see, my stitches are quite loose, so in order to avoid having loose stitches, what I'm going to do is to twist my stitches before I knit or purl them, but I will do this only on this round. So I twist my first stitch and knit it. Now I'm going to twist and purl 2 stitches. Now I'm going to twist this stitch and knit it, and the same for the next one, because I always knit 2 and purl 2. Again I'm going to twist and purl, twist and purl. So the pattern is 2 knit stitches, but I haven't knitted 2 here because I'm going to knit the second one when I finish the round. 2 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, and so on, and I will continue knitting the evergreen pattern until I get 2 stitches before my first scrap yarn. This is where I'm going to create my first decrease, so please knit the pattern until you are 2 stitches before the piece of scrap yarn, and I will meet you then. Here also the 2 stitches are quite loose, so I'm going to twist them first and place them back on the left needle. Now I'm going to insert my right needle at the back, wrap the yarn around it and knit them purlwise. So in this way I have decreased 1 stitch. Let me show you. So I have decreased 1 stitch and my stitch is slanted to the left. Now I'm going to place my piece of scrap yarn onto the right needle and I'm going to knit the 2 stitches of the raglan row. First I'm going to twist them, so I will twist the first stitch and knit it. So in this way I knitted the first stitch of the raglan row. So this is the first stitch of the raglan row from the body part, and now I'm going to knit the stitch for the raglan row which belongs to the sleeve. First I'm going to twist it and again I'm going to knit it. Now I'm going to pull the yarn as tight as I can and in this way bring the sleeve closer to the body part. Now I'm going to place the piece of scrap yarn on the right needle and I am going to create my next decrease. So again here my decrease should be slanted to the right because
it should lean towards the raglan rows. I'm going to twist my first stitch, place it on the right needle, then I'm going to twist my second stitch and place it on the left needle. Now I'm going to place the other stitch back on the left needle, and I'm going to knit these two stitches together. So this decrease is my second decrease. Now I have decreased my total number of stitches by 2, and as you can see, this decrease slants to the right.
And between these two decreases, I've got these two stitches which will create my raglan row. And again, I will continue working on my pattern until I get to the other side of the sleeve. I will twist my stitch, this one, and I'm going to knit 2. First, of course, I'm going to twist every stitch that I knit. So knit the second one here, again here. I'm going to purl. Of course, if you haven't worked a lateral braid, you don't need to twist your stitches. Again, knit, purl, and knit 2, and I will continue in the same way until I get here to the other piece of scrap yarn, and I will meet you then. Here again I'm on the other side of the sleeve, and I need to add my decreases. First I'm going to twist my stitches. So I twisted this one, I'll twist this one as well, place them back onto the needle, onto the left needle, and I'm going to knit them together. The yarn should be at the back. So like this. And now again I will slip my piece of scrap yarn onto my right needle. I'm going to twist this stitch, which is the last stitch of the sleeve and the first stitch of the raglan row. And here is the second stitch of the raglan row. I'll twist it again. I will knit it. I've joined the sleeve with the body part. Now I'm going to slip this piece of scrap yarn, and I will continue by knitting my next decrease, which should be slanted to the right. So I will twist the stitches first, this one and this one. I will place them back onto the needle, and now I will knit them like this. So as you can see, this decrease slants to the right, and this decrease over here slants to the left. So now I'm going to continue knitting according to my pattern. So I'll twist the stitches, and then I will knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, until I get 2 stitches before my other piece of scrap yarn where the second sleeve is, and I'm going to work my decreases and the raglan row in exactly the same way. So please knit the pattern until you are 2 stitches before the piece of scrap yarn, and then please add the decreases and knit the raglan rows in the same way for the second sleeve. I have adding the decreases, and now I'm going to work the pattern until I get to the end of the round here
in the same way. So what I'm going to do is to twist the stitch and knit it. Then I'm going to twist the next stitch and knit it again. Now I am going to twist the stitch and purl it. Twist and purl according to the pattern until I get here, which is the end of my round. So please do it and I will meet you then.
So I've knitted up to here, which is the beginning of the round. That was the round of my decreases, and now I'm going to knit a round of no decreases, but also I will get back to my size 5 needles. So what I will do is to follow the pattern. I will knit 2 stitches here, purl 2 stitches here, knit 2 stitches here. When I get to the rag, I will knit the decrease, and I will also knit the 2 stitches of the raglan row. So please finish this round of no decreases using the bigger size needles, and I will get back to you. I have finished my second round, the round which I knitted with no decreases. Now I'm ready to start my third round. According to the pattern, this should be a knit stitch because I have half of the pattern on this side and half of the pattern on that side. But now, according to the pattern, this is the third round of it, and I will need to alternate my stitches. This means that when there are purl stitches, I will knit on top of them, and when there are knit stitches, I will purl according to the pattern. And this is also a round of decreases because we decrease on every second round. So I will continue knitting until I get 2 stitches before the scrap yarn, and here I will decrease 1 stitch. So please finish knitting until you get 2 stitches before the scrap yarn, the piece of scrap yarn, or your stitch marker. So I'm 2 stitches before my piece of scrap yarn. When you continue knitting, sometimes you don't have the whole pattern because you decreased, so you don't have enough stitches. So here I have only 1 knitted stitch. Here I need my decrease to slant to the left. There are different ways to create a decrease. So here I will just insert my needle at the back and pull up a loop. So like this. Now I'm going to slip my piece of scrap yarn. These are the raglan stitches, so I'm going to knit them. There are 2 raglan stitches. I'm going to slip my piece of scrap yarn again, and now I need to slant my stitches to the right. So I will insert my knitting needle like this. It's a bit difficult to see with the pieces of scrap yarn, but they are useful. So like this, I've created a decrease. This is the sleeve, so I will continue knitting until I get to the other end of the sleeve. So now, if you can see, the sleeves are attached to the body part, except for the armpit, which I will join when I finish. So on this round you will continue like this. You will knit the pattern, and when you get to the raglan rows, you will always add 2 decreases on either side. So please finish this round and I will meet you then. I have finished my round of decreases. Now I will knit a round of no decreases, so we decrease every other round. I'm going to add decreases 9 times in total and knit a round of no decreases between them, but of course this will depend on the size that you are knitting. Now here I will need to follow the pattern again. So for this row we will need to continue knitting the stitches the way they come up. So please continue knitting. I will take away my pieces of scrap yarn here just to show you how the raglan rows are shaping. So as you can see, there are two, let me zoom. I hope you can see. There are two raglan stitches in the middle, and on the right here and on the left you can see the decreases. So please continue knitting this way until you have knitted the raglan decreases you need, meaning the decreases that we knit on the whole round. And I will meet you then to show you how to add the short rows and the decreases of the short rows. I have finished knitting the part of the raglan decreases. Now I knitted about 10 centimeters, and now I will need to knit my short rows. So please watch my next video on how we knit the short rows and add a few more decreases. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and see you soon in one of my next tutorials. Bye!